me waiting up all night. You've got me waiting up all night, baby. We can get into some trouble tonight.
Welcome to another episode of Bursting with Energy. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you are new to the channel, this is the platform where we talk about how to increase your energy in all aspects of life. So if you guys want to see what we've talked about in previous episodes, then you guys can just check out the channel and everything is available there. So today we will be talking about bursting with femininity. If you have not watched the Bursting with Masculinity, then I suggest that you go back. That was last week's episode because it will be they go hand in hand. We're going to be talking about a little bit about what the guys had to say and going into the mind of a woman as well today. So I want to give a shout out to Allergies Productions for having us here filming, and also to Burger Bar, who is actually hosting us today. We have her manager here with us who will be giving us her opinion as a woman as well. So are you guys ready?
Ready.
Let's start. So like, share, and subscribe, guys. How are you women?
We're women.
We make it happen.
We're women and we're here.
So like always, we're going to be starting with our breathing challenge, which is basically holding your breath for as long as possible. Whoever wins will be on another episode where we have all the challenge winners. And the person that wins will be getting wild orange essential oil. Like, you know, it is doTERRA, so you can't put it in your water. So the best way to do this challenge is to breathe into your stomach and breathe into your chest. So I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to breathe completely, relax your bodies completely. Breathe into your stomach, breathe into your chest. And then when I say hold, breathe into your lungs, and then you hold for as long as possible.
Don't have us fainting.
I think you know your body. You will like, unless you're that competitive and you're like, no.
Just hold it in.
Wild orange is great for energizing, guys.
Yes. Just in case you didn't hear. You guys should know by now, if you have been watching the show, then you know that wild orange is perfect for energy, since we are talking bursting with energy. It's also cleansing. Everybody ready? Okay, so you have 1 minute. Breathe into your chest, breathe into your stomach. Full breaths. It'll help you connect your body, but it'll also help you relax your body, especially if the exhale is longer than the inhale. And at home, if you want to be part of the challenge, then you guys can do it as well and see if you last longer than the ladies. And you can always put your time in the chat box. 30 more seconds. Just the time to connect to your breath, your body, oxygen, and get your mindset ready. So, 10 more seconds. Everybody inhale and hold. Let's look at their faces as well, guys. Their game face. Not bad. Everybody's looking in the zone. Check it out, competition. How big is that? Daddy's out.
The laugh's good. She's sabotaging us.
I know, like, keep the comments, Jess. Keep the comments.
This is rigged.
Exactly. It's a rigged game.
Oh,
That's good.
alright, you're done, huh? Oh, okay, Daya wins!
I'm so shocked.
Yeah, before the show, she was like, a minute.
Oh, look at me
Good
go.
job.
Amazing.
Okay, midway.
Good job,
Orange,
good job.
There you go.
Thank you.
For you.
I love
Were you
that.
guys able to last longer than a minute or less? I I know they said they need to redo it.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. So this is just because of our bodies and not.
So
there's
reconnecting to your body, reconnecting. If you guys saw the first episode, then you'll know reconnecting to our body just through breathing helps a lot. So the real quick summary is if you never exercise, you can survive basically, right? You can go 40 days without eating. You can go 3 days without drinking, but you can't go long without breathing, right? So just connecting back to your breath, the most efficient ways to breathe into your stomach and your chest just because of your diaphragm. It works the diaphragm. And holding your breath, which is nobody talks about CO2, but it actually allows the oxygen to circulate better in your body. So I made it a challenge. Last season was the water challenge. This season is the challenge.
Amazing.
All right. So last week we did active listening with the men. This week we will be doing arm wrestling. I'm excited for this one, guys. So let's see, because I wanted to do. Does anybody want to challenge anybody first? Because we'll see who.
No.
No.
Pitting us against each other.
Exactly. I'm telling you, she's. This game is rigged.
Why we're
Says.
doing this is that we talked about what masculine energy looked like last week. This week, feminine energies are receptive, that receiving. But I wanted the game to be the opposite of that, okay? Which is why we're doing arm wrestling. I wanted to do other ones, but they can't move too much today. So we're gonna do it in the arms. And women actually have a lot. They're a lot stronger in their legs, but not really in their arms. So
You want us to wrestle?
arm wrestle.
Oh, okay.
But how are we gonna even do it?
No, women typically have strong legs, but the arms not so much. But it brings in that competitive side, that aggressive side. So ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are we gonna do it?
Oh,
We can't
so-
really move, no?
Is it okay if one person? Oh, we don't have the tables for this.
Dude, she's.
Or will
We could do it.
He's
The
ready
best
for
spot
this.
is
So
that
we'll-
spot.
Okay.
So maybe we could just rotate. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I see. Little mics.
There
So why don't you
we go.
guys?
Okay, so you two will start then. We'll
Okay,
start on
yeah,
this side.
Oh, jeez. Don't break my arm. That's all I ask.
Do not move my arm. It's Sunday morning, okay?
Everybody ate their breakfast.
Get your mindset.
We're good.
Get your mindset on, guys. Get your
Is this a
competitive
real
side
thing?
ready.
I can't believe
And I'll
it.
do 3, 2, 1. Are you guys
You know
ready?
what? We can battle it out as females and just call it. And
Yeah.
say both of us are
We don't need
females.
this.
Yes,
That is
Diplomacy.
exactly
female.
of female energy. Like we call it.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
Ooh, come on.
Oh, she's strong.
Yeah, don't let the F you fool you.
So what then happens?
You guys oh no.
No,
keep
one of
going,
you will
yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, one of
Push,
you will keep
push.
going.
There you go.
So good. I'm cracking it.
All right, stay here.
Okay.
No, not you.
We'll switch?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we keep.
She is now our winner.
Are we going like King of the Hill style?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ladies, I'm looking for that feminine energy. Somebody say no. Somebody say, as women, we are being diplomatic and we are not.
I'm not a diplomatic woman.
She's like, I'll get you.
Already. Okay.
Do
Are
I?
you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's
Get the arms ready.
Hold on.
Pilates. Stop.
Pilates is not helpful here. Okay.
Brute force. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! She's got me.
Damn, Helden.
Woo! I submit. That was quick. Oh my god.
Super Colin?
Come on, Jesus.
I'm actually very, very like namesake. Do you wanna call it?
It's
I
the
think
Helden
it's
versus the Helen.
younger one, you have to let me win.
How can I fight against this?
I like the mind
Well-
games in here, guys.
You know what, Jess?
Yes.
I will be the diplomatic one
Okay.
and give my younger sister the win.
Wow.
So there's no room. Exactly. I want to. She's saying that and she's like,
Now she's mad. Yeah. She's like, I don't need this.
"Should I
All right. 3,
oh, she's gonna get it.
2,
Stop it.
1, go.
Go.
Oh, okay, I see you. Oh my good sis got strength. She's actually good.
Did she get you
You
fair?
actually, yeah, that
Got
is
you
fair
fair?
and square,
Okay,
fair and
good,
square,
good,
yeah.
Okay, let's sit down.
I'm not surprised. I can't, don't believe it.
Oh, come on. No, she's actually, one of you want to try? She's actually very, yeah, it's the youth. The power of youth is real, for real, for real. Man, vous, hein? Did you feel like that you were actually strong?
So a lot of the feminine energy, guys, is receptive. It's the stillness. It's the silence. It's the observation. And so why I wanted to do that game is because a lot of the times we try to separate one or the other, but we actually have, just like we have our right hemisphere and left hemisphere, we have that right side and the left side, right? So you can't do one without the other. So with the two episodes, I'm just trying to show how there can be a harmony between masculine, feminine, male, female. And if you guys want to go back to the definitions, I defined last episode, male, man, and male, man, and masculinity. Okay? So now we just define femininity. Obviously, you guys then know what female and woman is. Just in case, woman is just a female adult. Clear? All right, so we're gonna go into the next part, which is our discussion. I wanted to spend more time here. Now that we have all the energy flowing and stuff, now we can go just into the mindset. So we're gonna start with the opinions that you guys had based on the last episode, and then if you guys want to share based on what anybody says, then we'll start there, and then I'll go into my questions. Sound good? All right. So any opinions based on last episode? I know you. We'll start here.
I had a lot of opinions, and I feel like my opinion in regards to masculinity and femininity differs a lot from what I feel like has been talked about on the show. I thought like the men really kept themselves in this box of a social construct that is masculinity.
But that's why I don't know if you heard the last video, which was talking about the fluidity in masculinity.
Right. So I felt like some of the men were very, like, they were finding it difficult to get out of that box of what defines man and what is man.
Okay.
Whereas to me, the social construct of and the dichotomy of male-female, it's very much an illusion.
Okay.
Masculine, feminine, it means whatever we want it to mean, right? We're born with this freedom to be whatever we want to be, and society built to this idea of what we're supposed to be as someone who is or identifies as male or female.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's why we did the definitions, right? Because I feel like as a man, woman, it's fluid, but then when you define masculinity and femininity, it has the definition is like factual, right?
Yeah.
So that's why man, woman is fluid, yes. And that's why I showed you guys that video. And if you guys didn't see the video, it is in the description box of the last episode. But then I do agree with what she says in regards to man, woman. So not to get them confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was pretty much it, right?
All right. So she felt like they stayed in a box. So we can talk about that. We'll bring that up. So next episode is going to be a mix of man and woman, and we'll bring that back up. Do you feel like the men stayed in the box? And at home, let us know in the comment section. Do you guys feel like the man stayed in that social construct of what a man is for society?
For me, the one thing that struck me was the difference of opinions in regards to their age. I don't know if it's just because knowing somebody behind the scene as how old they are and the experiences they've had, so it kind of makes you look at them in a different way. But I appreciated the fact that there was one particular one, I think the oldest one, who had somewhat clearer vision of, okay, this is what I am, my mind is set up about what I am as a man. And then the others were kind of like what she was saying. They were playing around with that social construct of what they think a man is. So I appreciate the fact that, so this was a panel that showed us that in life, things do change and opinions do change. And then as you accumulate your experience, you kind of get more sure and sure about what you are or who you present as. So that was something that stuck up.
What did you guys think of, the opinions from the older men when I was giving the quotes? All of those were 50 plus. And it was different. Even the men were surprised, like, oh, I didn't see it like that because it started one way. When it said men are useless or that stay away from women but acknowledge their presence, those were from older men. So did you guys?
Oh,
yeah.
They were. But again, that just shows like the difference. Like, let's say as a person in my 20s that is dating, I am kind of hopeful to know that, like, okay, this is not what I will be seeing forever. Like, at some point, things will change, opinions will have their rightful place. I will get to be influenced by those other men around me or the masculine energy around me. So I appreciated that difference of opinion.
The stages of life. I like that. Do you have any opinions or anything based on what they said?
I agree that as you get older, you become more sure of who you are and your role in the world and your place. I don't know. I didn't hear much about what the men had to say last time. I'm sure what was the older men were saying things that were more like traditional,
Yes.
or the box that you were talking about. They want a woman to be at
Yeah.
home taking
Yes.
care of them.
They
And-
want to provide rainbows for the woman.
But it's funny that they're still older and they still
Think that?
Have
think
that.
that way, and they're more sure of that's what they want in a partner. So I respect that of them, I guess.
Lynn, did you have any opinions based on what the men had to say?
Yeah, I feel like like as she said, they're still like in the box, and I feel like nowadays men are more restricted. They have more restrictions than women, and they try to stay in the restricted zone.
Oh, do you think the box is restrictive to them? Because do you think it's negative that they're still in that box?
In my opinion, yes.
I think they
Okay.
choose to be in the box. They could try and get out the box, but I feel like they feel safe. So
In the
it could,
box.
like, they feel safe in the box, having all this perception of how
There's
to
pressure,
treat.
social pressure
Exactly.
from their
so-
friends and their fathers.
Exactly.
And
So I feel like they're very much restricted compared to women. Like nowadays, women are more freer than before.
Yeah.
Can
We're the
I,
freest we've ever been.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
can I build
that's
on that
true,
a
that's
bit in regards to exactly your question? Like, if it's a
Bad thing.
bad
that's what I-
thing?
Yeah, I was gonna go
I
dive
think,
deeper in that.
honestly, I think there is space for man. There is space for, so that, you see how we were saying, you were mentioning that femininity and masculinity should not, those are defined because they are energies almost,
Exactly.
versus how, like, a man and woman, that's a fluid thing. I think we shouldn't forget that there's exactly that. There's fluidity in all of it, but there's space for both, right? And so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. There's a difference between knowing who you are and accepting who you are, or just like allowing yourself to grow and being a mean human being.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a man who says, you know what, I want to take care of my woman. I want to do all these things for her. But then when you get into the scope of things where you're saying, oh, you cannot do this, then you're just being a human being who's not really looking at the next human being next to you and seeing that this person does have dreams, have passions and things that they can do.
Yeah.
that's
So, like,
based on fear
exactly,
and perceived threat of attacking, like someone taking something away from them, or suddenly me taking care of myself means that you can't also
It's
take care of
exactly
me.
like
I don't need you anymore. And I think men are really afraid of not being
Being
needed.
by women. No, it's
But
true.
I can need you and need me, and we can work together. Like
That's-
I
We can be
don't
two
need you
people
to be
together.
the person dominating every single relation. Like we could both be doing our own thing together. Do you know?
I was actually having a conversation about that because that was something that came up, that men in a relationship, they want to feel
Needed.
Needed.
respected and needed.
Yes.
And I was actually telling my husband, I'm sorry if this is offensive to you, but I don't need you. Like, I make my own money, I'm independent, I can take care of myself, but you should feel pleasure in the fact that I want you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Not
you
that
bring
I
something
need
to
it.
my life that I don't have without you,
Exactly.
that I want in my life and that I welcome in my
Well, I
life.
want to bring this back
Yeah.
up because
I want you.
most of the research, most of the coaches, most of men, if you guys check out all podcasts, they all say they want to be needed.
Yeah.
So should we be changing that? Should we like? That's where I'm like, is it a bad thing?
I think
Because
the
now
need.
You say you want them to be, you want to want them, but they say they want to be needed. See, so it's two opposing things, and it goes back to the right and the left hemisphere, right, which is masculine and feminine. You need
You know
both
what?
to function.
You know what? I think, like, it would be interesting actually to watch the next week's show where they're both there, because this would be a question where I would truly ask a man, like, in my life as a human being, being a woman, I need different things. I need physical, like, I need to take care of myself physically. I need to eat. I need to have a spiritual connection with my creator. And I also need, like, like passion or like I don't know, sexual passion. I don't know what like a sexual
Say
type
it
of
how it is.
exactly like a sexual type of thing. You know, I want a partner, and then so. What, is that not enough? Like, can I not want you just the same way that I need vegetables to function, to have a functioning body? I also need this passion thing, and you are the one who's providing that. So isn't that a need? Aren't you fulfilled by the fact that I need you from that perspective? So isn't that the
But
need?
it's okay to need someone, but not in a way where it's restrictive or you're losing parts of yourself in spite of that. Codependent. It's human beings need other human beings. We're all alone. We're gonna die. We're supposed to be together.
Yeah, so we do
and
need
people
them.
who are married and in long-term partnerships live longer. I'm not gonna say you're supposed to be in a relationship or anything like that. Everybody is different, but you do need people. You do like. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years. We lived together, and if he wasn't there, I would be lonely. I wouldn't have a partner, a teammate who's helping me take care of the house. He does his fair share. I really feel like we work better together than we would be if we were apart. Do I need him? No, I would be all right. I would get a new apartment. I would survive. I don't need him to breathe oxygen or be alive on this planet, but I do need him emotionally or sexually.
but and what I want to emphasize is that need is valid. Like you know what we're saying. We're saying that like, do I need you in a sense? Well, yes, we do need them in a sense because we're not complete without that other aspect.
But not in spite of myself or my freedom or all of that
I think
stuff.
that's where that bothered me a little bit, where that like men need to feel needed, just because I feel like traditionally in that misogynistic, toxic masculine way of thinking, which we often see, it's I'm the provider. I want a woman who's gonna need me. You know, like you need me to be the provider, and you can stay home with the children and all that stuff. And I feel like that's kind of what came across.
Yeah,
but you know what?
But being needed has a definition of the role it is, right? And it can move in and out of that. It doesn't need to be you're just going to work, and when you come in the door, I'm like, oh my God, I've been waiting all day for you to come home. Oh my God, tell me about your day. Like, it's not. It doesn't need to be like.
Just can I add something?
I think that goes into picking your woman, because you need to know what woman you're picking.
The
if
type.
she is the type that wants to, so that's where the roles come in. I don't think it's I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's toxic. If you do see that you're a man that wants to provide, then pick a woman that wants to stay at home.
That has similar
If you
values.
see a person, if you do see, because a lot of us now, a lot of men are going to school with women. Women are like in school, they're graduating, they have their own jobs. So if that's what you're into, go for that woman.
I was gonna say just a quick
You're
addition.
right.
A quick addition.
Personally, I'm quite traditional with it. If he wants to feel needed, I will give him what he wants.
You're okay.
Because I don't
Oh
mind.
my God, I like that.
Like, I don't mind. Like, it just makes it more empowering. Like, for me personally, like, he needs me, because needing somebody who's like, oh, okay, you really do need me. You really truly want me
You're
to be
needing
around
each
you.
other in the same way
Like,
that
if
accommodates one another.
Yeah,
that you're
it's
both
still
agreeing.
the same
yeah.
way, and it's not like restrictive. Like, he doesn't start dictating like my every move.
Yeah.
But I still want to be like the traditional.
Yo,
way.
there's
At
nothing
the
wrong
end
with
of the
that.
day.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. Just like, I still remain in the tradition. Like, I'm young, but I still remain in the traditional. Like, but at the same time, like, he should have like feminine qualities.
Of course, we need both. That's why
I
we did
need
the
both.
active listening last time, and we did it because we need strength in life too, right? You guys, like you said, I do this, I can provide for myself, and that comes with strength as well.
Just a quick addition also is, I feel like there's more and more like disconnect in the power of communication nowadays. An example is if truly I let's say as a woman who does make that money, have my own degree, like have my own apartment, like, you know, I have all the things that 100% I do survive quite comfortably
Which
without
150 years ago, a woman wouldn't
exactly. So when I see a man or I can encounter a man and he's saying, I want to feel needed, I genuinely put the communication on the table and I say, what are you providing? Because then at this point, the money
I think
is
the
taken care of.
best
This is taken
question
care of,
would
which-
be, what do you mean by that?
exactly
Because you're actually coming with a perception. You're already coming with your idea of what, it's like you're projecting. So it's like,
Like-
what do you mean
Like,
by
exactly,
you want
you
to be
want-
needed?
exactly,
Because I
like,
feel like
explain to
sometimes
me at
women
this point.
assume what they, so it's like a trigger, like and it comes from, you know, our, like, it comes from our genes, it comes from that survival mode, right? What do you mean, like, so it's better to ask, what do you mean, instead of like, what are you providing?
Well, it's also what are you providing? Because sometimes it's like, well, I want to provide, but then what
no,
do you
that could be
provide?
the next, that could be the
Exactly.
next question, but I mean, what do you mean by you want to
I
be
see what you
needed?
mean. Yeah.
Because I think that it
I
comes
Let's
see,
from
clarify that.
it
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
from the
very true.
history of the power imbalance
Exactly.
between men and women,
Yes.
right? So when I hear I want to feel needed, I think of like
What?
Bringing hope.
right? Like, because back in the days, that's what it was. Women needed men.
Yes.
We were not autonomous in
Yeah,
our own,
exactly.
like in our finances, in our the way we wanted to live our lives, in our careers, in even childbearing. We didn't really have those choices to make for ourselves. So when you hear a man come at you with that, like, I want to feel needed, I want to do this, I want to do that.
That's where the breathing helps.
Genuinely
That's where the
yes.
breathing helps. You breathe.
have
What do you mean by that?
Literally,
It's the power of communication, like you were saying, but not go to defense mode right away.
It's like the past. I think it's the trauma of that history of imbalance between
yeah,
men and women
yeah.
that comes back.
Yes.
When you hear certain trigger words.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, asking those questions before you even get into a relationship to know exactly what the expectations are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree, because that's why I'm doing this episode, to see the, like, how we can make it work harmoniously, because there's some things that men are saying that they want, and there's some things that women are saying that they want, and at this point in history we're not having the best relationships that we've ever had, but we're the most knowledgeable, we're the most aware, we have all these things, so it should be working. So why isn't it working? And I think it does come with those defense mechanisms and the change that has come about with those, with time. That was a good point. Anybody want to add any? No? Or you were done your point?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that was a little bit on the opinions that they had on In the Mind of a Man. Now, how does it feel to be a woman in 2023? What does it mean for you to be a woman in 2023? We'll start this way this time.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite liberating in 2023. I feel like we're more free. And at the same time, I think men are starting to understand that women as powerful as they are, and they're as sneaky as they are. They are able to do the same things they do, as much as they don't want to believe it. And yeah, mostly that. It feels really good, liberated. There's no much like a social construct or social, oh, women are supposed to do this, this. Now it's become kind of uncertain what women are supposed to do, and because women have the choice to
Exactly.
Well, here
choose each. Every
Yeah, here.
depends where you are.
Yeah,
but
let's specify in the West.
Oh, I have been working here.
Oh, well, okay. Occident. We'll say Occident then.
I like that.
Yeah, basically that. I think that's my.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Women in 2023.
Yeah. What does it feel like to be a woman for you in 2020?
I honestly, it feels, maybe I'm speaking from my age now here. I feel sometimes stressed, or I feel like there's a lot of competition. Not like outward competition, but like
Inward?
this competition,
Yeah.
or like, you know what I mean?
Ah. Social competition.
Social competition.
Yeah.
Not that I like feel threatened by that, but it's just in my face all the time. Like women looking beautiful and more beautiful, and,
I agree with
fit
that.
and bodies, and are like definitely like overwhelming. But for me personally, being a woman in 2023, I feel extremely grateful. I feel powerful. I feel free. I feel that I'm able to enjoy being a woman. And if I was born in a different generation, I might not be able to enjoy all the things about being a woman that I really, really like. So
I love that you brought up the social media aspect as well.
it's just like constantly, and maybe I need to get off my phone. part of it
But
is
it's
me.
impossible to completely avoid also. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it is something that we need to address, you know, especially for the long term.
I
But
feel like we're, sizing each other up behind the scenes. Like we're all like, we love women, and we're all sisters, and we're all powerful, and we're all this, yes, queen, whatever. But I feel like we're all like subliminally like, look at me, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I
Sometimes.
think back in the day it was quite systemic because there
Yes.
was not much competition.
Yeah.
Because they all had the same role.
Yeah.
And they were all like
On the same level.
same level in terms of like how they dress. They all had like the big feet. They dressed the same way. Their bodies weren't showing us much.
We had a uniform.
Exactly. It's like now it's quite different.
Yeah.
Like from styles, so people might feel
But
quite.
the individualism
I
has
agree.
gone up a lot, and so now everybody's just free to be 100% their best selves and dress how they want to dress and like wear what they want to wear, and that's really cool. But it comes with
Competition.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but I also agree with what you said, because as we said in the last episode, there's when men were gone, the women and children were together, so there was a lot of oxytocin, there was a lot of love, energy, love hormones going around, right? So we weren't in that masculine energy, which was competition, right? We were more in that like high up love.
Or like community and
Exactly,
care of
more
each other.
community oriented and
Yeah.
nurturing oriented, yeah. Whereas now it's like, I can do me all by myself.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like bringing that harmony back into it, because yeah, you can do you. At the same time, you can benefit your community as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you can win the arm wrestling and still have this discussion.
It was a rigged game. I'm joking, I'm joking.
Did you want to?
She had two people before.
Right? I thought of that. Wait, were you done your point?
Yeah,
Yeah?
no,
Okay.
I'm chilling.
For me, honestly, I always say it in different types of conversations, but I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have chosen a better time to be alive. I'm loving it.
So men, women are loving this era. Just in case you didn't realize.
In the sense of, I'm loving the fact that now like too many examples that I can maybe like to a point the scrolling, like I can actually look, I'm like, oh, I can wear my hair that way, the way Tisha has it. Oh,
It's
I can
true.
borrow, like, oh, her skin tone is
Yeah.
close to mine. I
Yeah.
can borrow from that.
Yeah.
I'm loving the fact that it's just all in your face. Can like just like choose for myself.
That's
I
interesting.
love
You're-
the
you're finding
gratitude.
community in it.
Yeah.
Where I'm seeing some isolation, you are finding community in it. I
Like,
think that's really
yeah,
I
it's-
love that, the different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the fact that I can like even my own biases are being broken. Like once upon a time, I had a bias against a certain type of woman, and now like I see their community more and more, and I'm like, oh my God, this is
Love
actually the
it.
same as me, and like different types of cultures and people and identification, and I'm feeling like that empowerment that Helen was talking about at the beginning is what is driving me. Like I'm feeling empowered to saying like, okay, I'm choosing from this and I'm choosing from that, and this is me and this is what I want to
I
be.
like that.
And I'm really loving
You know,
it.
maybe Danny, that's the way forward actually,
Yes,
by
well,
seeing
it's
it, but
definitely a different perspective.
by seeing, instead of like seeing it as like, oh, competition or isolating, then seeing it as, oh, what can I take from this, or
I mean,
bringing that
don't
gratitude.
get me wrong too.
No, there is competition.
There
There's
is also
definitely
like
competition in it.
a little part where you're like, oh my God, I can't dance like that. Like, let me just scroll faster and kind of ignore. You know, there is for sure some aspects that
No,
make
I
you feel like,
get it. I
don't have enough.
get
But
it. But at least having that gratitude for being able to see all of these different options and pick like what really resonates with me.
because just to finish my point, like how you made it clear that we're talking about Occidental women. Like for me as a Black African woman, let me be honest. Like there were not a lot of differences that were kind of shown to me of what it is to be a woman. There was one certain
That
type.
is true.
And so being in a world where now I have the resources to look and say, you know what, actually I will go back to the type that my mother told me at
Yes.
home. Like, and then I make that choice for myself, or I'd say, okay, you know what, no, I'll borrow from Cardi B and I'll borrow from Rihanna, and then I'll go back and borrow from Jess and all of these
The
people.
point is there's a choice. There's a choice,
But
right?
these choices get criticized a lot. Like if because there are certain women who choose to stay at home and they still get criticized for it. With like, why are you trying
Yeah.
to be still part of like the traditional
Yeah,
way
that's why I
of staying home,
yeah.
caring, but they truly enjoy it.
Yeah.
They don't mind, but
I have seen a
now
lot
they
of that.
expect
Yes.
women to be more there's this expectation
Expectation.
of women to be more open
Yeah.
out there, like going to work, doing this, but certain women don't want
Want
that.
to.
It's very
And-
whose side are you on? I don't like that.
I don't
like that.
either.
And you get, it's not even, you don't only get criticized by men, but also by
Women, yeah.
Like, why are you choosing to be staying home
It's-
and caring for your man? Like, you should be like me. I'm out there getting my own money.
Yeah.
Don't you want to have your own money?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think originally the reason why
My money is my money, so at the end of the day, I'm happy.
originally I think the reason that, like, you know, having rights and freedom to be here today was choice. It was all about having the choice to pick what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So there's no bad or good choice. There's no wrong or right choice. It's what makes you happy. And so everybody has their opinion and their perception of, like, this is better, because it's true that there's some situations that are better for community, right? And women actually give birth to community. Men kind of help with the structure. So I understand why some people would pick one over the other, but in this day and age, we're so many. Like, we're so many people here. So I think it is, like, it's okay to pick what makes me feel happy.
Yes.
Now, from the men's perspective, it's like, but is that going to get you married? And some of the women were like, but do you really need to marry me?
Or maybe I don't want to marry you.
I feel like
Or-
the way I see it in women in 2023 it's freedom. I see it as freedom, like you said, freedom of choice. And I think that that's the most important, the freedom to, and like intersectionality as well, right? All women all around the world, we all have those little things about us, about our culture, where we come from, our age, all those things that make us who we are. And with all those little things that make us who we are, we make different choices, and it's being able to make those choices, respect the choices that, you know, maybe you want to be traditional at home and stay-at-home mom, and that's, in my opinion, the toughest job in the world, to be a stay-at-home mom. And that, if that's what makes you happy, then that's your choice. And same thing with, you know, the criticism of, like, people who want to practice their religion and wear a hijab and things like that. To you, that might seem restrictive, and you want to be the savior and be like, I want to save all these women from, you know, wearing a hijab, and that's, you know, in my opinion. But the beauty of that is that it's a choice.
Yeah.
These women get to make that choice. And the way I see it, when I picture women today, it's almost like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. It's like the rebirth of that energy, a rebirth of being able to do whatever the heck you want to do.
What type of woman do I want to be?
Exactly. I
I'll
really
be
like
that
that.
woman, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
And I like.
defend it.
Yeah.
I think that women who, like, every woman who, like, says, I want to be a traditional, I want to have a traditional role within my household. I feel like there's, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like, ladies, but I feel like there's a fear to speak out about that. But, like, me, I'll defend to the end of me about the type of woman that I want to be in my
Yes.
household. So do the same, please. Like, speak up. Don't be afraid. Just because somebody is telling you that this is not right, that we're in 2023 and you shouldn't be cooking for your man, and you genuinely love cooking for your man, speak up and say, no, I want to do this. Like, I feel like...
Who is
there's
saying
also-
that you shouldn't be cooking?
There are people out there saying that.
Yeah.
I have seen them.
So, like,
They are angry and they're probably hungry. Okay?
If you're
who you
gonna eat,
are.
then eat together.
like, defend your choices and be empowered in that and love it and speak it out loud. And I feel like, honestly, this is a very, very dog-eat-dog world. If you don't speak up, somebody else will speak up on your
Yes,
behalf. Kind of
I
thing.
completely
So
agree.
everyone, just speak up. If you're not hurting anyone, make your stance be known and just say, I'm comfortable in my truth. And then
Exactly.
move on.
Very.
And I think as humans who live with other humans, we don't have a choice. We're all here together. Hey guys.
there's a lot of us.
It's not because you don't understand something that you cannot accept it
Yes.
and love someone for their choices.
Yes.
It's not because, to me, I wouldn't do that and I don't understand why you made that choice, that I have to hate on you
Yes.
and bring you down for the choices that you made, right? And that's what's the beauty of, again, having the freedom to make those choices and being there for one another.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I don't get it, but good for you because
Yeah.
it makes you happy.
I don't get it, but good for you.
Yeah.
So true.
I like the imagery that Dea used of the butterfly, because I think there was one, like at once there was that traditional, this is how we do things, right? And so when things started to change, there's probably that disruption, that miscommunication, you know, the malentendu. And so we have to learn again how to communicate what we want. And so some people are still struggling with that transition, and I think we're like full blown in that transition. So now it's like looking forward to how can this become harmonious. But for so long, things were one way, right? And so people are going to defend that. Like, people are always going to defend how things were, a structure is like this, right? But now we're changing and we're going into this new way of doing things. And that might look ugly right now, but I think it'll lead to that butterfly, like, you know, that this is woman.
Freedom is scary, right? When you first start to learn how to use your wings, you're going to flop around a little bit awkwardly. But then as you get used to that freedom and getting out of that box, you're going to learn how to do this dance, and you're going to learn how to support one another with that freedom. And yeah.
And that's why I like them, like hearing people and hearing what their opinions are, even if you don't agree, just coming from a place of understanding and compassion. And that's where the masculine and feminine comes in. All right, does anybody, so did you want to add how it feels to be?
Well, freedom, I said it.
Freedom!
A little awkward butterfly trying to find out what the heck we're doing here.
The word of the day, freedom.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to take this into relationships now, right before I show you guys. So we're going to take this into relationship, and then I'm going to show you guys my video, and then get your perception on that video. Okay, so the dynamic and roles of relationships. So a lot of the men, they said, you know, remember when they were talking about back in the day, women used to put their hair in the back, do subtle movements, that femininity. And a lot of the time, what men value is your femininity, your youth, your purity, your innocence, right? How do you guys feel like that comes into attraction? You know how I was explaining for men, it's that sexual attraction. For women, it's that mental and emotional attraction. How do you guys, we'll start here. How do you guys feel like with the role play and being that freedom from a woman, and that what men value from a woman, how that goes into relationships?
I think that it's so dependent on individual culture. I think, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, what do you value in a relationship? Or like what got you, you're married, right? So what about your husband got you like, yeah, that's the one?
Ooh. I think from him not having any preconceptions of what a woman should be.
So his innocence as well.
So him being very open to the fact that, hey, I like this person for their being, for who they are as a being, not necessarily feminine, masculine, how they present, all those little, you know, it was more of like, I think, a soul-to-soul connection. I like this soul, not necessarily everything that society tells me I should like about this person. Yeah, and I think that speaks, love is based on respect, so that speaks from like a deep level of respect for that individual with everything that they encompass.
Yes, I
yeah.
love that.
That is so cool.
Go ahead, Helen.
So the question is like the roles, the feminine roles. What? Why? What did I mean? So that's essentially it.
Yeah.
Like the little subtle things that are considered feminine.
For you, what would like, what attracts you towards a man, or why would you pick a man? Or
oh wow. Well, so again, I feel like to your point at the beginning that this is very cultural based, I would say. There's an essence to it that is very personalized to how the community or the society that you grew up in and whatnot. Like, to me personally, what attracts me towards a man are like Bantu kind of essenceness, like that sort of, for those who know, those who don't. Like, but for me, like, I want that presence. I want that masculine ooze of, like, okay, you will, like, if I'm in bed pushing out your baby, you're holding it down in all aspects of our life, and you're making sure that the household is run and whatnot. So I think it's sort of like an essence. So that masculine, for me, you have it or you don't, and the attraction is there or you don't, and, you know, friend zone and we move on. And it's honestly, it's an energy thing, and a lot of people like this is a phrase that actually people say, and I'm not sure if different cultures understand it, but there is a Bantu energy. There is an essence of being an African man who understands that African men do have always put their women like in a high regard, in the sense of like the taking care of the women, and then that freedom and understanding that their freedom and our freedom does not have to be something that clashes.
Yeah.
We both can be full individuals in ourselves and whatnot. And yes, so for me, honestly, that masculine energy, it's 100% must, because I've always seen it around me in my culture, and so I value it. Where I think a lot of people are misleading themselves is thinking that energy translates to physical, like, strength, in the sense of like
abuse,
domination and abuse and whatnot. No, there is a gentleness to that.
Yes, I agree. I like that.
So,
if you guys don't know exactly what she's talking about, there's actually videos of, you can go check tribes where they go and interview tribes and to say what's masculine and feminine, and they really do have roles. They don't understand like gender fluidity. They find it funny actually, like when you explain it to them. So yes.
Okay. Can we just get a little brief on the question? What am I
Yes.
attracted to in men?
Yes.
Or, like,
So because men were talking about how they appreciate that femininity, that subtleness that women used to have, which they don't have now.
Okay.
So
she's like,
not in that way. Not in that way. I really resonated with what you were saying about just a man who is providing that energy, like he's gonna hold it down and like do his job. And I mean do his job by being 50% in the partnership. And for me, I am attracted to men who, because it's like we were saying, it's very individualistic. It depends on the person. So for me, a man that I want is gonna have the same values as me. Is gonna want the same type of future, the same type of life. Like I don't have time to be like talking to a man who wants to like travel and live everywhere, because I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? It really comes down to that.
Yeah.
And so
values.
Your values have to match, and for me it's really important that someone isn't. What are you doing to take care of yourself? How are you showing up in the relationship? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you exercising? Are you eating properly? Are you going to work? How are your financial goals? Like for me, it's very much like you have to have your shit together at this point. So if I meet a man who is delivering in all those qualities, then
We'll talk about that in the mix. We'll bring that back up.
Unemployed, it would depend on his goals and if they were realistic and if he was delusional. I don't know. Like it would really depend. Luckily, I found a man who was gainfully employed, and it's good. But I wouldn't. As long as he was like flooded with the confidence that he's gonna be able to put his half right. If I had confidence in him, it's because he's putting out that energy that he's got his shit together, and I would trust him and believe him. For sure. Yeah. Not off the table.
Nice. Helen.
Personally, well, I just started dating, so. So I just really started dating. Like, I haven't been dating for that long. So you said getting his shit together. I don't have my shit together, so I cannot expect everyone to. I'm only 20, so I can't.
That's why.
why.
So it's completely, we're at different
Exactly,
phases.
because
Like,
I'm like still young, so I can't. If I'm gonna expect things from a man, I want to know if I also have the same things I'm not expecting from him.
yeah.
So if he doesn't have his shit together, I don't have my shit together, so I cannot expect him to get his shit together. If he's unemployed, well, unemployed too. The middle ground. But he has to at least have like some values, some goals, and be able to be a man at the end of the day, and also be naked in front of me.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh, when you say naked, I was like, wait, what? What?
Like to be able to,
Yeah, like sure.
yeah, naked literally and
Look good.
Yeah, you did.
She'd be like,
Double entendre.
She wants him to be confident, be able to show himself
but also
completely.
to be, like express his emotions.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
what's going on with you. If you feel
Communicate.
down,
Okay.
like communicate with me. the same way I'll be able to communicate. Like I wanted to feel like more of a partnership and be able to be more free, like not be afraid to tell me something, thinking like it's gonna hurt my feelings or just like just here to listen. If I even though I won't be able to help you, I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
So that I like.
I like that.
And, what I like from what I'm attracted. Well, if he's attractive, yeah. like as much as we like to think, oh, it has to be this, at the end of the day, physical appearance also matters.
Okay.
Can I add something
Yes.
in regards to you know how that in last week's episode they were saying that see the little hair swing and whatnot.
To look at you.
That
That
the
would
buzzing
mean
of the
help me
eye.
come to the
Parallel
handkerchief.
That's really hot. You can parallel park.
Parallel parking.
Something that I feel like I like for real the gents have to start doing more. I feel it's just the polite like just like step up and
Oh
say
yeah,
hi.
so I wanted to bring that. They said chivalry is dead and women killed it.
But no, but they're blaming that we killed it. But then, but I feel like they simply stopped doing it because when like no person.
But you told them you didn't need them. So.
No, but like there's no like if I genuinely want a cup of coffee and you bring me a cup of coffee, I will be thankful in that moment. You know, like
There's a difference between chivalry and basic human respect and loving your partner. I think chivalry is a big movement that comes from misogyny and patriarchy.
They were saying opening the door.
Right,
You
of
know,
I have to do everything for you. You have to like it's the same thing of like providing for you. I think
okay.
chivalry, when I think of that, is
Oh,
more like
I'm
that.
gonna bring this up too.
Of like this is what I can do for you, baby. Let me pay
No,
you.
men killed chivalry with expectation, and men killed chivalry with expectation because just because you hold something for me or you do something for me, now you want my eternal gratitude and servitude. And it's like you treat me like a human and don't expect me to give you payment or penance for that.
And that's part of the I think that's part of the whole like misogynistic patriarchy thing is that there are such expectations that I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna provide for you, so you own
What are you gonna do for me? Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
We'll bring that back up because but what I did want to say is that now that we've talked about what attracts men, we've talked about what attracts women, so now it's more what we're gonna do in the mix is who do you need to be to attract that person, right? I love that question because it's nice to say this is what I want, yeah, but who do you need to be to actually attract that person? I think it'll be better when the men are here and they can also say like, okay, this is what would attract me.
I am a child of God. I was created perfectly.
Do you mean
I'm joking.
as individuals?
I have no comments. What did you say?
Sorry, do you mean like as individuals, like us, like who do we need to be attracted
To attract the person that you would like to
the
attract.
of our dreams,
Yeah.
basically.
So basically, you said you needed a soul-to-soul connection. So like, who did you need to be to? But well, soul-to-soul, you just needed to be yourself to attract another soul. That yeah. But now, if you wanted that bantu, that provider, who would you need to be to attract that?
Why is that like as black women, our choices of men are being restricted in terms of if you're black woman, you're supposed to date a black guy.
Who said that?
In this generation, like if some other black women or black men,
Oh, names.
if other black women or black men
Yeah.
see a black woman is dating like I don't know an Asian guy or white guy, they'd be like, wow, you couldn't go for like somebody of like in the same.
So
You feel pressure, like
Yeah,
people
I feel
Diminutive,
you.
yeah, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm into white guys, and then like, why are you into white guys? I'm like, why are you into black guys too?
I think
I
that
think that-
changed over time. Go
A
ahead.
friendly sister advice is like try to differentiate trolls and like people. You remember the type of conversation we were saying that there's a lot of noise right now out there. Try to like differentiate what you want to influence you and what you don't want.
Exactly.
Because if not, you'll get caught in the noise.
People
Yeah.
who are trying to help you and people who are just
Yeah.
getting in your ear. Like,
Yeah.
Just like if for you're let's say right now you didn't say the race of the person that you're dating, but if for you right now you're dating somebody who is not who's of a different race, like be like maybe have an internal conversation of why do I like him, what attracted me to him, and once you know that,
Yeah.
run with
Nobody
it.
can
no
take
one
that
can-
away
It's also
from
a
you.
very old way of thinking based in
It is.
Like
It is.
That's not relevant.
Oh,
today.
that's
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
Of like, oh, you stick with your people,
Yeah.
I stick
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
people, and we don't mix together.
Yeah.
Actually, I think dating outside of your race is very
Yeah.
healing for generational
Yeah.
trauma and
Yeah.
learning things from, how to grow yourself
Yeah.
as a person.
Kevin Samuels did talk about that because he was saying how, you know me,
Oh,
he did talk about that because he was saying how, like, so back in now, especially in the black community, would be like, why is he dating a white girl? Why is he dating that? And then he's like, but like, they learned what black men want. You guys didn't go and do the research about what black men want. So obviously now there's all these different people dating different, and it's about learning how that culture is, what you like about that culture, and being able to provide that to each other as well. So
There's also like but there's also like people, there was a lot that was taken away from the black
Yeah,
population
yes,
in general
yes.
sense. And so
we're not going to go into that today.
yeah, let's just not also like, let's extend some grace in understanding that some people might choose to just like protect and secure that littleness that we
Yes.
still have in
Yes.
this world, and say,
Completely agree.
I want a black family. I
Yes.
want somebody who
Yes.
I can kind of
And
like
actually
lean
all
on.
races do it. It's just that there's also cross.
Yeah. So let's also extend grace in that
I don't
regard.
know how to say, but you guys know what I mean. All right. So we're going to go into the last section. I want to show you guys a video and then get your thoughts on this. And then
You
I'll
wanna
put
put it in?
I'm going to put it in the middle. I just need to go into here. And then I'll put it in the description box for you guys. Oh, am I on the wrong one? Here. Yeah.
Why would you see my life as privilege? For one, you're a man. You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people who engage in workplaces are men. Most people fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
I know her.
Okay, so basically in the video, the guy, did everyone hear?
Suicide are men. Most people who work in dangerous workplaces are men. Most people fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
All right, what do you guys think? So you guys always know that I say men built the world, but who did they build it for? Obviously, women and children. But now that we know men built the world and we're now following in that structure, who set that system up is basically what she's saying. So like the man is talking about the struggles of a man, which we all acknowledge. But then the woman asks, but who set that system up?
But
What are your thoughts about this?
Some men are just victims of that also. Some men didn't create that system. They're not responsible for it. They're born generations later. They're just here. They're just trying to survive like everybody else. Like, I do have some sympathy for some men. Some men suffer. There is some suffering with men, and so that's valid.
disagree that men built that system to set it up for women and children. I
Why?
think that men consciously built a system up to benefit themselves.
To protect
Oh.
themselves.
Know exactly what
Protect
they
their
were
wealth,
You think?
protect
doing.
their
They knew
power.
exactly what they were doing in setting up that system.
This might be a long-term discussion. I would need to find the men that built the world.
Exactly.
I think they
Who
know
did
they
this?
were- And I think that years later, men still, cis white men specifically, still benefit from that system that they built.
That's true. Yeah.
I
And
agree.
They are, I mean, it's a double-sided medal, right? Like, you can build a system up, but there's going to be pros and cons. And you're going to fall victim to your own setup.
If you are a man that has built the world, or you have a family that's built the world, and you want to be on the show, give me next season too. I will have you on the show.
Like you were saying, right? Like, some men are victim of that.
Yeah.
It's true. There are downsides, right, to saying, like, men are all powerful and men are like this and men are like that. You're setting yourself up because you're setting these boundaries for yourself that are unachievable.
You make a choice to keep perpetuating those values. You make a choice if you're gonna, like the box we talked about at the start of the episode, if you're gonna choose to exist inside of that, you have to take responsibility that you're continuing on something that is outdated and is not benefiting even your own self. You know?
Like, men are the number one, like, men are the ones who commit suicide the most.
Yes.
Well, because
Talk about your fucking feelings.
vulnerability is seen as-
You guys saw it in the last episode when we did vulnerability. But I wanted to ask, so can we say that women took the path of more masculinity just because of the structure that was, because I think women have always understood their, their true nature, and they found a way to kind of work in the universe with that. But can we say that women have taken more of a masculine approach just because of the structure and the system that's in place?
You have to.
Yeah,
It's
you
absolutely
kinda have to,
necessary. And then you take the path of the man and you have the traits and you act like the man and then
You break the box.
but then you get shit on for being a bitch. So it's like it's not even, you take the path of survival because you're like, okay, I gotta act like these men if I want to get what these men have, and then they still find a way to.
I like that.
You know?
it's a very hard I mean, like we got trapped in this system, and then we had to learn to survive in this system, and now we're being chastised because we became part of the system. So it's kind of like, but I feel like the good thing, honestly, like feminine energy will save this world. Because
Of course.
at the end of the day, that we always come back to that, like, you know what? I actually do not want to be working 70 hours a week.
70% of women are just, yeah.
Exactly. Shout out to Tegan sometimes. But
We don't really want to go to work. Check it out, guys.
but no, I'm trying to say, like, we get into these scenarios where, like, we have now adapted to being like, okay, I'm a go-getter, I will do everything and whatnot. And then we get there and we're like, you know what? You white cis men, take it.
It's
actually don't
hormonal.
like it.
What did I
This is
say?
very,
Women don't
like,
have as much
toxic, actually.
testosterone.
I actually don't even want it. Like, at this point, like,
Tired.
It's literally that women don't have as much testosterone as men, so it exhausts us to work more.
like, it's not even.
work a ton. And I love my job.
But you're around women. So the more you work, the more oxytocin and connection you need. So there's a correlation.
It's also like, I think the way the system was set up is that we work for what? That's the question.
Exactly,
Yes.
and that is the that is the key.
question.
Exactly.
I like that.
Like I don't want to keep working and then just to only go to like rave parties with bros. Like no, that's not what I want. I don't want to be partners so that I can have access to those yard parties where people are passing out and you know like so. It's you just hit hit it.
Yeah, I like that.
I work for the betterment of my community, for the betterment of women, for that's my job. That's what I do.
That's fulfilling you.
That's fulfilling you,
Yeah,
right?
so
But
it's worth it.
If you have to work that 9 to 5 where you hate your boss and you hate the people that you work with and you hate the people that you're serving,
You're
You're not getting anything
you're
back.
not getting anything back
Yeah.
in return, and you're working really just to survive, and then that's no way to live.
All right.
Cis white men.
3 more minutes. Helen, did you have an opinion, and then we'll do last thoughts or last advice for women? No? Okay. So last thoughts, last advice if you were giving it to yourself as a woman.
Giving yourself advice.
I'll go because this particular video just reminded me of something. I was having a conversation with a friend, and they were like, "Oh, Helen, you identify as an Afro-feminist?" And I was like, "Yes," not knowing that he was about to trap me. And then he said, "So did you get concerned when Ukraine was saying that that women and children evacuate and men have to stay to fight during the Russia war that was waged on them?" So it's like, were you concerned that men were staying behind and dying? Like, how comes, if you're so pro-women, how comes you're not saying, oh, women have a right to stay also and fight also and whatnot? So it was almost obviously, some conversations are just like, I don't want to engage. Like, you are completely on a different level that I'm on.
Well, he has an agenda already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not trying to have a conversation, you're trying to trap me.
Because I think a lot of people forgot that it was about choice. A lot of people now, they're fighting for equality, whereas it was equality for choice. Like, I can decide if I'm going to stay home. I can decide if I'm going to do this. I can decide if I'm going to do that, which men have always had. So now they're seeing it like, no, if I can fight, you can fight too.
So like that scenario kind of like now that we have had our conversation, like the final thoughts that I would have for myself is, or at least to the women, my community, like I consider my community women. Anyone who fits that bracket is a woman in my regard, and my community, my person. So my comment would be, let's just be more, audacious. Daring in putting ourselves out there and like making our voices heard, be heard in a sense of, we are here, we do matter, we do have our own essenceness, and so if you want to be traditional, be very like, ooze that, say it out loud and be proud of that. If you want to be a woman who works a 9 to 6 and gets home and cooks and just like has that double role, do that, embody it, be proud of it. Like it really saddens me that there's women out there who feel like they cannot share with the type of woman they want to be because there's different people telling them, like, oh, you're not a feminist if you do this, or you are a full-on feminist. Like, don't let like labels kind of like determine who you are. Don't say I am a feminist, so I will be this, 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 this. Be what you are, and then if it fits with feminism, then you well and good. If it doesn't fit with it, then you create your own, and you are your own, and you matter. Like, just honestly, we all matter. We're all here. Like, this universe is just as much for me as it is for the next woman out there. So embody it and be proud of it, and add your voice to the noise. Like,
That's
so,
great.
yes.
Anybody else want to say anything?
I think she said it all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that was all for In the Mind of a Woman. That was amazing, guys. I think your opinions were spot on. I think it does start a good discussion, especially for the next episode. So I will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you, Andijan Productions, for filming. Thank you, Burger Bar, for hosting. We're not going to try their food, so if you guys want to know if their food is good, check our stories on Instagram. Have a good Sunday, guys. Thank you all.
Bye. Yay.
And see you.